Yo guys, what's up and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to almost instantly improve your melody game. So first I'm going to show you the sample that I will break down today. Then after that I will rebuild some of these melodies just so that you can understand what I thought while making the melody. And then after that I will show you how I mixed the sample and mastered the sample. So make sure to stay till the end. Make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to my channel. And make sure to activate the bell because I'll be live streaming a lot from now on. And I will react to your music and make some beats live just so that you can see how I make beats and maybe improve even your beat game. And thank y'all for almost 1.9k. And I will drop a big sample pack when we hit 2k. So make sure to subscribe as I said. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. We had almost 2k as well. And yeah guys, let's go. So I started off with using Keyscape and I used the LA Custom C7 Cinematic preset, and I turned off the reverb and the tape and I laid down this pretty simple pattern. It looks a bit complex, I know, but I will rebuild the melody and show you how I made it. So it's a pretty bouncy melody, and first of all it sounds like this. And now let's rebuild the melody. So I will choose a scale, which is basically the C minor scale, but I will use the D sharp minor scale now. I will just lay down a chord, which goes like this, and I will use this note and put it down by one. And then just make it pretty short, and then I will just copy it over like this, so it has this rhythm. And then I will put the same chord over here, and then copy it again over here, and then just put up this A sharp note to a B, and then just make it long. And it sounds like this. And I'm pretty sure you can see what I wanted to do. And then I just copy this over, delete this note, put this note down by one, and then it sounds like this. And then I will just lay down this pretty simple chord, which goes like this. And I will copy it again over here. And then I just built these three chords, which basically make all the bounce. And this is only the first two bars, and I will just copy it over. And it sounds like this. And that's what I did for the main melody, which you just heard. And I just layered some bass notes and randomized the velocities and the strum. And for the effects, I had this 3D parametric EQ where I took out a lot of the frequencies that I didn't like. Then this RC20 just for the wobble and the EQ. Then this J370 with this preset. Then this Valhalla vintage reverb where I tweaked the mix, the decay and the low cut. Then just this simple soothe. And this EQ where I just cut out the lows, just that the lows from the piano don't clash with the bass. Then for the next thing I had this Miroslav Philharmonic 2 with the Cinema Strings preset, which you can find in the mixed orchestra section. And I laid down this pretty simple pattern, which is basically just there to give the whole sample more texture and more of like a full feeling. I randomized the velocities, and the finished string pattern is sounding like this. And what I did for that was basically just laying down a C minor chord, which goes like this. And then I just copied those notes and put them up by one octave. So yeah, it sounded like the original pattern. Then for the next thing I laid down this G major chord. And then I just copied those two notes and put them up one octave again. And it sounds like this. And then for the next thing I just copied this chord over, put it up by one, then just changed the B into a C and this B into a C, and then copied this chord over again, shortened it again, and yeah, then I just had my basic pattern. And then for the effects on these strings, I just had this 3D parametric EQ where I cut out some of the frequencies that I didn't like. Then I had this EQ just to cut out some of the lows and some of the highs, and I put it 19% to the right, and that's basically it for the effects on the strings. Then for the next thing I had this preset which I can't pronounce. It's an opera violin, and it's from Admirable from Contact, and I just laid down this pretty simple pattern, which is just like a triplet string pattern, and I randomized the velocities, and it sounds like this. And then I just added these effects, which is a 3D parametric EQ just for the harsh melodies. Then this halftime, which obviously is just to halftime the melody. Then this Valhalla vintage reverb for the mix, the decay and the low cut. Then this soothe just to get rid of all the unnecessary and unwanted frequencies. And then this EQ just to cut out some of the lows, and I pan it 90% to the left, and the melody with the effects is sounding like this. Then for the next thing I had this vocal look from Splice, which is called Fantasy, and I just brought it into key, which I did by pitching it down by one. Put the declicking mode on generic, the mode on stretch. I lowered the volume a bit, and this is how the vocal look is sounding like. So yeah, I can't really say anything to that vocal because I didn't make it, but I can say which effects I put on there, which is in Fruity Delay 3 with these settings, then this Fruity Parametric EQ where I took out some of the frequencies that I didn't like, and I had this EQ where I took out a lot of the low frequencies and some of the high frequencies, and I put it 12% in stereo. And after that I used Keyscape again with the LA Custom C7 Cinematic preset, and I just laid down this bass line. I had it on the original piano just pitched up by 1 octave, so it's basically the same bass line, and it sounds like this. And for the effects on this bass line, I just had this Fruity Parametric EQ where I took out some of the frequencies that I didn't like. Then this EQ just to cut out some of the muddy lows, and I put it 100% in mono. Then for my master, I had this A1 serial control from Alex Hilton with these settings. Then this RC20 for the wobble, the distortion, the magnetic, and the EQ. Then I had this plugin where I don't really know what it does, but it makes it sound better, and I had it on 23% on the mix. Then this Wolf compressor just to glue the sample together a bit. Then this simple soothe, it's just a simple automatic EQ I would say. And then this simple EQ where I just took out some of the frequencies that were like too harsh for the whole sample, and then I ran the sample out, put the declick mode on generic, normalized it, put the mode on stretch and put it on the 8th mixer track. And on the 8th mixer track there is a Fruity Parametric EQ where I took out a lot of the frequencies that I didn't like. Then the same thing again with this EQ. Then I had the sound shift the pitch stereo from Waves where I pitched it up by 3 semitones, and I had this EQ where I took out some of the muddy lows, and the finished sample is sounding like this. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on the bell because as I said, I will be live streaming a lot from now on, and I will be reacting to music in the live, so don't miss out on that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to get me to 2k, and please leave some video ideas for some future videos in the comments. And as I said, thank y'all for this crazy support, and yeah guys, see y'all.